the sky, stormy weather. Just can't get my poor self together. Keeps raining all the time. I don't know why. All I do is pray the Lord above will come my way. Let me walk in the sun again. Life is bare, gloom and misery everywhere, stormy weather. Can't get my poor self together. Keeps raining all the time. All right. Well, that's all it takes. We don't need to do a fancy intro this morning because there ain't nobody tuning in because it's 4 in the morning. Yeah, I just was depressed and I went to bed at like 6 p.m. So here we are. Yeah, if it's like 5 in the morning right now, yeah, I just like took out the trash and fucking took a shower for the first time in like 3 or 4 days, and ooh. Yeah, let this be a lesson to you. Men are really not meant to function without women around. They just, everything goes to shit, man. In like a real way. Like so much of the background maintenance that I do in my life is just because like women will not put up with my bullshit. Oh shit. Yeah, speak the while right there with me on the weekly shower. So we had some good edits yesterday and the day before. Really making some fucking progress on this book, but we're behind by 12 pages. Oh, actually, we're behind by 22 pages. Fuck me. I had not paid attention to how time moved. But that's cool. I don't think anybody's going to distract the fuck out of us today with irrelevant questions or death threats or nonsense like that. So we got to get up early in the morning to get ahead of these incorrigible trolls. I'll tell you a secret. I am never a step ahead of the trolls. Not once in my life. But day 17, out of a projected, I think it's going to take 80 days to finish this book. So I would like to have it done by the 4th of July. So that's my projected date. Do we do the yesterday? I think we, yeah, I think we didn't do day 16. And we redid 12, and then I didn't get a word count. So let's, can't go on. Everything I had is gone. Stormy weather. I'll tell you one thing I really like that we added in 12 is him being afraid that somebody was following him at the very end. Because honestly, like in the first draft of this, it almost read like a horror book, but written by somebody who didn't understand how horror books work. I'll take, yeah, only 1,000 words we edited yesterday. Yeah, and I've thought this a few times. I don't know. We only spent like an hour or so on it, so we're day 17 now. Spaithiwa, doubling the competition right there. Yeah, I just don't understand writing horror on like a basic level. I just don't feel it. Like when I'm reading horror books and stuff, I don't feel like spooked. And I just haven't understood like horror since I was like, I don't wonder when the fuck that happened. Maybe after I got out of the military. Like a lot of things changed about like what I was afraid of and you know what I was concerned with and so forth. After I got out of the military, I was just not afraid of like goblins and you know like fucking vampires and all that nonsense. There were just too many. 209. Okay, cool. Yeah, these can just be approximations. They don't really matter. God, that's a lot of work though. Real talk. Okay. But yeah, we got that captain's log right there. So yeah, I feel like I'm kind of handicapped in trying to write any kind of horror because it all seems like a little dumb to me. Um, yeah, I really struggle to like express how characters are afraid and so forth. I started a poll between dogs and cats in a Discord server, and now fucking cats are winning because Discord users are all miserable shut-ins. But I just want you guys to know, dogs are clearly superior in every way, shape, or form. Yeah, it's tempting to get a dog myself, to tell you the truth. But like, I know that when I went back to work, I wouldn't be able to bring the dog to work, and like, I can't fuck with that. I need if I have a dog, I want the dog to be able to hang out with me all day. So if I get a dog, I'll just be like, oh well, I guess I should just quit my job then, and then cometh the poverty, because Lord, I do not make enough money writing these here books and doing these their radio shows to make a living. And I've really struggled during this period of quarantine to like put out any more content than I normally do. Like it's just uh, it's like I've been trying to record the new FNet News for like a week, and I'm always like, I'll do it tomorrow or whatever. There, when you're working a job, you just assume that when you're not working the job, you just have unlimited mana, but then you're the exact same person. Like you do the same shit. Oh, maybe today I can clean up my house. Cats spread parasites that make humans dependent on them. Dogs don't need any such thing. It's absolutely fucking true. Like, you have to be an idiot to like look at a dog and all that it does and not be like, all right, this is a valued addition to what's going down. Truly believe that. But other things I truly believe is that it's time to edit. So, Gary, this is Lemon Maybe and the Electric Lady by Zak Zyz. Chapter 13, A Surreal Symphony. 1.9, 10:27 a.m., Pappy's Coffee. Gary and Sarah stop at Pappy's Coffee on 8th Avenue. It dawns on Sarah that this is just like a date, and instantly she thinks no, just no, before she can stop herself. It hits Gary like a physical blow. Yeah, okay. So 8th Avenue is capitalized. I'll just tell you that right here. Yeah. No. Just no. Shoutouts to never giving it up ever. I got to tell you, out of all the people in this book, Sarah is the purest of heart because she literally can't fuck anybody. What a real one. Since my man and I ain't together. Rephrasing of the thought sentence made it weaker. Okay, I think that's fair. What was the original sentence? Let's cut it out entirely. No, just no. Her disgust hits Gary like a physical blow. Her disgust hits Gary like a physical blow. I don't like physical blow. Her disgust hits Gary like a fist. She can see the embarrassment roll from his chest to his fingertips. All those muscles contracting at once in a full-body cringe. I like full-body cringe a little better than hard cringe. Yeah, and you really have to like think about it too. Like cringe has become super cliche in the last 3 or 4 months. It didn't used to be, but now all these fucking teens are like, ooh, cringe. And like since this book was written, fucking cringe comedy has come out. Actually, when did The Office come out? Well, they had like 10 seasons of that. That would have been before this was written. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Her disgust hits Gary like a fist. Sarah can see the embarrassment roll from his chest to his fingertips, all those muscles contracting at once in a full-body cringe. I'm so sorry, she says. It's the electricity. I can't be with anyone. I'm so sorry. It's the electricity. I can't be with anyone. She's trying to make an excuse, and there's a hard look. She's trying to make an excuse, but there's a hard look in his eyes, like, who the fuck do you think you're fooling? Out comes the forced smile, the practiced shrug. Yeah, better. Out come the forced smile and the practiced shrug. Don't worry about it. Trust me. You can't be thin-skinned. You can't be thin-skinned. Yeah, that's not good. Trust me, you can't be thin. You can't read minds and. Oh yeah, this is better. Hold on. Don't worry about it. Trust me, you can't be thin-skinned if you read minds. You should hear what my old boss used to think about me. My first job in the city was at McDonald's just up the street by the Gristedes. You should hear what my old boss used to think about me. That was my first job in the city. Just up the street next to Gristedes. I own that McDonald's now. I bought the whole franchise. See, you can't say bought the whole franchise because it sounds like you own every McDonald's. Oh, shit. Shout outs to Mr. Donkey Man B. Actually, I've already written this story, and now we're editing it. So the nice thing about doing an edit on stream is that readers can join in and be like, oh, that word sounds stupid. Or, you missed a comma, jackass. And it's fun. And we give out points and so forth. But yeah, this is my 10th book. That's a lot of fucking books, man. A lot of books. My first job in the city, just up the street next to Gristedes. Yeah, there we go. It's cool that I can do that. Yeah, it took a long time of writing to be at the point where I could like do it on stream and not be like, oh my God, this is awful. And now, like, if something is awful, we at least know how to fix it. Hopefully. I own that McDonald's now. I bought the franchise just so I could fire him myself. Turned out to be a pretty good investment, too. I bought that franchise just so I could fire my boss myself. Yeah, so... I bought the franchise just so I could fire him. Turned out to be a pretty good investment, too. The way Gary grins. The way he relishes the moment. Oh, yeah. From the way Gary grins, Sarah can tell he thinks about it every day. How long have I been streaming? Fuck, when did we start this? I want to say like 2007. Yeah, I do another show like every Friday night. I've been editing on stream since, let me see, we started doing the edit on stream every day in December of 2019, I want to say. And then we edited an entire 200 and some odd thousand word novel called Gravid, which is now available online. But I could not get anybody to buy it because it was too depressing. So we're trying to work on some of these books that are like a little bit more fun. Yeah, the book was fucking depressing, man. Everybody who read it was like, this is bumming me out, dude. Are you okay? Well, killing me, IRL, really. Yeah, that one's never going to get published unless I start dating another editor, basically. Or if I'll ask first into a ton of money. That's a bummer. No, how long have I been live? Oh, we just started this like at 5 a.m., so like 18 minutes. From the way Gary grins, Sarah can tell he thinks about it every day. He relishes getting over on people. I like that better. Again, his eyes narrow at her. I'm really sorry. I'll try not to. Sarah stumbles. I've just never had to not think. I'll try not to do that, Sarah stumbles. I've just never had to not think. I've just never had to not think. I hate having a hyphen there. So for you, it's 4 minutes and 19 seconds. Well, you haven't missed much of this chapter, to tell you the truth. You don't even have to go back. We've just gotten to the preliminaries. You can just be yourself. Believe me when I say I've seen it all, heard it all. No, that's not good. I've heard it all, believe me. Just the fact that you're trying to be nice. You're trying to be nice. You're not an asshole, so don't worry about it. This is all new to me, too. I've never told anyone about this. About my power. So Gary, alone, out of the characters, would think about what he can do as a power. Maybe really thinks about it kind of as a curse, and certainly Sarah does as well. To Sarah, this is just like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why is this happening to me? And out of like the whole set of them, and even Matthew is a little bit like horrified about his situation, since he's been abducted by fucking Duchance at this point. Only Gary is kind of like, I can read their minds. Hell yeah. I've never told anyone about my power. Then she realizes that's a lie. She told Lemon last night. Then she realizes that's a lie. She told Lemon last night. Then she realizes that's a lie. Last night she told Lemon. She can only half remember it, jumbled in. Jumbled up with a lot of nonsense that must have just been tequila dreams. So Lyons says to remember to abide by the community guidelines. Yeah, like no thermonuclear war in the chat. I think that's the big one. If you do that one, you don't really have to worry about any of that. Shout outs to Big Lions right there. Yeah, MDE has been kind of like inactive for a little bit there. Did you guys migrate to a different spot or like a Discord or something? I just see like the same like one or two people chatting like 20 or 30 lines. Sunrise, sunset, motherfucker. L'chaim. All right, hold up. Let me take some of this Niagen so I don't get the corona. I wonder if that shit's even true, or if it's just some like fake ass study that they put out to get gullible dupes like me to take their worthless vitamin every day. I gotta tell you, it works. I don't see any corona around here. Though she doesn't think of it as a power. It's a curse. Though she doesn't think of hers as a power. It's a curse. Then she realizes that's a lie. Last night she told Lemon. She can only half remember it, jumbled up with a lot of... She pushes the recollection away as Gary peers at her, absorbing everything. Sponging up every thought. I like that a little bit better. No more fanboys to abuse. Oh yeah, I guess they're... I don't know. Like I'm not following them on Gumroad or whatever. Are they like actually putting out decent content or whatever? I haven't seen fucking for a while. I was like checking in on Charles's stream, but it was like, whatever. I don't know. Like I would assume that Sam Hyde is like hooked on Percocet at this point, but yeah, I don't know what's going on with those dudes. I really need to put together a set of fucking people in New York that want to make wacky videos and content and shit. I just, I'm the only, because I have all the fucking equipment like sitting around us here, and I have like some sketch ideas and so forth, but I do not, like because I'm so antisocial, I don't have like a set of people who want to go out and make like sketch videos or whatever. I'll take like another improv class or something like that. I did that for a while. Like I think half the time I was going to improv, I was just looking for people who might want to co-host my show. And I actually had like a few come through, but we were way too wild for those people. They wanted to be like, look at me, I'm wacky, I'm a duck, And I'm like, great. Great. Yeah, that's funny. Not like I was any great improviser or whatever. I've met a few real fucking talented people though. Don't think about that. Don't get him involved. I'm an electrician. Been apprenticing since I was 14 with my dad. Oh, yeah. I was my dad's apprentice. He died when I was 17. Heart attack while we were watching the Super Bowl. The goddamn Jets. I'm sorry, Gary says. Mother? Took off when I was little. Never knew her. Same story with my dad, Gary says. A little too fast, like he was just waiting for his chance to talk. He hears her annoyance and holds up his palms in apology. She nods for him to continue. So what I want is, how do you call that gesture? You know, where you're just like, It's like an apologetic face. Lots of drugs, probably, yes. Yeah, I would. I mean, I would too if I had stolen tons of money from my fan base and just didn't give a shit about anything. I think. By the way, I just think by the time you're like 50 years old, you should just get hooked on heroin. Absolutely, really and truly, just be like, all right, I'm 50. Time for pain pills. I like it. Yeah. Yeah. Well. I want to include lame. He hears her annoyance. Nods lamely. That's not good. And nods in acknowledgement. Yeah. It's not even half-hearted. It's like a fucking Larry David-ling. You know that expression? God, what the? We should have a name just for that. 'Cause yeah, it's really like if you watch, and I'm not like a big Curb fan or a huge Larry David fan or anything, but there's this kind of look of wry acceptance, like what's in that expression? Tight-lipped, eyebrows raised. And gives her a tight-lipped nod of acknowledgement. Oh, let's just take out acknowledgement. He hears it. And feels her annoyance and gives her a tight-lipped nod. Sorry, I'm not a people person. That line is so fucking funny to me. I love it. I love it. Sarah fights the urge to laugh before she realizes he meant it as a joke. Yeah, let's just do that. Sarah covers her mouth, strangling a laugh. My dad stopped paying child support when I was 12. Haven't seen him since I was 8. My mom died right after I graduated. Huntington's. I'm sorry. What's Huntington's? Genetic disorder. Fatal. Oh. Shit. Do you have it? Do you have it too? Maybe. It's like 50-50 and I haven't been tested. I don't want to know. I thought this whole thing might be related. Do you have any history of that? I guess not if you haven't heard of it. It's kind of rare. Sarah shakes her head. So, there's an awkward pause. Neither of them is much of a talker. So what happened after your dad died? Gary nudges. He left me enough money to finish high school, but I didn't want to. I just kept working. The union was great. Really helped me out a lot. I started in residential. The union helped me a lot. I started in residential and now I do high-end commercial. New construction. Big jobs. Stuff most people couldn't do, Sarah says. She's afraid it sounds like she's boasting, so she thinks about crawling upside down under a truss 100 feet in the air. She remembers the rush job at 142 Park where she worked. Yeah, it's capital. Would you call them a Fresnel light or is that just a lens? Oh, and why is she rigging up lighting if she's a fucking electrician? No, not that, asshole. Here. There we go. She recalls the rush job at 142 Park where she worked for 2 days straight without sleeping to get everything wired in time for inspection. Sounds pretty badass, he says, and she can't tell if he's being sarcastic. How much of that can you see when I remember it? Okay, so Gary would know the word subvocalization because he's deeply concerned with minds and how they work. How much can you see when I'm remembering like that? Is it just the words I think or the whole memory? Most of it, not just the subvocalization. I get the big picture of what you're trying to remember, but there are a lot of little details I don't understand. Like smells that mean something to you, but I don't have that association. There are a lot of shortcuts your brain has built up over time that mine hasn't. Everyone kind of has their own language going on, but I'm pretty good at interpreting them. Please, continue. Well, there's not that much to it. It started with high voltage lines. Oh, yeah. When did you start seeing electricity? It started with high voltage lines. Just a faint halo around them. I thought I was just drinking too much, but I quit for a couple weeks and they just glowed brighter and brighter. Next thing I know, I'm seeing thinner and thinner wires, smaller currents. Oh, that's not a good sentence. Smaller wires and lesser currents. At first, it was just bad static, but it got worse. I shorted out almost every appliance I own. How many years have I been writing and I still can't fucking spell apartment? I always put two P's in there every single time. I melted the remote control, started leaving arc marks on everything metal. I can't carry a phone or... I've been drinking a lot. I mean a whole lot. I've been drinking a lot to cope. I mean a whole lot. I'm pretty sure I'm fired. Rent's Friday and I can't make it. I don't know what to do. I have no one who can help. I've been drinking a lot to cope. I mean, a whole lot. I missed a lot of work and I'm pretty sure I'm fired. Um, so rent being Friday, it's like weird, because her rent is definitely not like on the first of the month or whatever. I'm behind on rent and I don't know what to do. That's better. I've been drinking a lot to cope. I mean, a whole lot. I missed a lot of days. I'm pretty sure they'll fire me if I come back. I don't know what to do. I have no one who can help. I can. I remember what it was like. I used to be homeless too when I first got to the city. I can help. Gary offers. When I first got to the city, I could barely deal. Too many minds, too much noise. I slept at the Salvation Army. Oh, Salvation Army is capitalized. I slept at the Salvation Army men's shelter on 14th Street until I got that job at McDonald's. Hard to believe I ever went hungry. Gary pats his ample gut. It's supposed to be a joke, but he's bad at jokes, and she's not the kind to, Where'd you come from? Why'd you come to New York? Middle of nowhere, Iowa. Let's specify a town. God, what a shitty state. Fuck Iowa. Here, I'll do this. I like Fort Dodge. How about that? It's got a Walmart Supercenter. Should the street and 14th Street be capitalized? Ooh, that looks so wrong. Yeah. Yeah, it should be capitalized. Let's give you that point. All right, let's take a look at what it looks like in Fort Dodge. Is it as shitty as I imagine it to be? Here, let's plonk ourselves down here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, fuck this. Look at these railroad tracks. Little dinky houses. Men working. That's junk. I don't want any part of that. Fort Dodge, Iowa. I'd always wanted to live in New York ever since I was a little kid. You know, bright lights, big city. Wanted to see if I could make it out here. Turned out I couldn't at first. You know, I actually held a yard sale to get money for the bus ticket here. I actually held a yard sale to get money for the bus ticket here. I had all of $100 when I stepped out of Penn Station. I guess I thought it would be like a movie. I'd just fall backwards, ass backwards into a job and friends and everything. Then I got here. When I got here, everything was 10 times as expensive as it should be. And then everything's 10 times as expensive as it should be, and there's tons of competitions for job. Then you're broke and... Okay, so let's take a look at this structure. Middle of nowhere, Fort Dodge, Iowa. I'd always wanted to live in New York ever since I was a little kid. You know, bright lights, big city. Wanted to see if I could make it out here. Turns out I couldn't. Yeah. At least at first. I held a yard sale to get money to buy a bus ticket. I held a yard sale to get money for the bus ticket here. Yeah, let's move this. I want to see if I can make it out here. It didn't last a week. I guess I thought it would be like a movie. I'd just fall ass backwards into a job and friends and everything. But everything was 10 times. Yeah, that's the part that needs work. Oh shit! That's a big logic right there. The great race continues. I'm seeing a fuck up in pound LRH right here. Looks like a mime encoding of an image from old Jew Boyd. What a dork. See, IRC Clown doesn't do that. You should get with the program. Get down with the clown. Reading him as he's reading her. She realizes he's bullshitting her. She makes the connection about the way he's telling the story, a lie repeated many times. What hinky shit is Gary up to? I don't think it's ever explained in the story. But I just want you to think about, like, some of the terrible, creepy shit that a mind reader could get into. Why would he lie about that? Unless he was running from something. What the fuck did you do, Gary? Gary's eyes are locked on Sarah. She can see the frenzy of thought, the flight reflex kindling at the back of his neck. Well, a dose of my own medicine, I guess. Talking to a living polygraph. Just like that, the jokey, self-deprecating tone is gone. The forced smile vanishes. He pushes his cappuccino saucer away from himself, getting distance to reappraise the situation. Yeah. He pushes his cappuccino saucer away, getting distance to reappraise the situation. I don't care. I don't want to know, Sarah says. And in the back of her mind, she Gary won't help her if she pries into his past. I don't care. I don't want to know, Sarah says. I wonder if we can do a better word than says. I want something like insists. Insists. Fucking lisping hard over here. God. Acervate? Is that a word? Let's try assert. She could declare it. I think, yeah, Gary avers. Yeah. No, none of those are better than says. Ugh. No. So that. No, that's not better. The correct word is ejaculate. The correct word is never ejaculates. Like, the only time you ever use the word ejaculates is if it's a dick. Spraying pearly white jism. Like, that's the only time you can use that word. Sorry. That's just how it fucking works. Blame porno. Ruined everything for everyone. Sarah blurts. There you go. I don't care. I don't want to know, Sarah blurts. There we go. It's nothing too bad. Oh, yeah. It's nothing too bad. Coming of age for a mind reader is difficult, Gary says. I don't want to talk about it. The way he says it. Mm-hmm. Oh, of course. He know. Oh, that's much better. I use that word correctly when mid coitus, explaining the next step of the process to my partner. So nice of you to keep an informed dialogue going during that intercourse. Well done. The way his demeanor shifted suddenly and totally when she found him out makes Sarah shudder. Of course, he notices. Well, there it is, the real me. I wasn't lying about the homeless part either. When I first got here, I was hopeless. I showed up just as my power was getting really strong, and I was half crazy with it. And it drove me half insane. People could tell there was something weird about me. They hated it. That was the first thing I found out when I started to read minds. How much people hated me and didn't want me around. It's been that way my whole life, long before I had this ability. I've always been fat and short. Men pity me and women hold me in contempt. But of course, I never really believed that was true until I heard that was... When I first got here, I was a wreck. No, goddammit. Pinwheel Y. So Gary is an unapologetic shyster, or so used to getting away with it that he doesn't know how to act on somebody who can call him on his bullshit. Yeah, he's used to getting away with it, so he's never had to apologize, and he's not good at it. He has like the power to read people's minds, but he can't make them like him because he's such a piece of shit. Which is, like, to me, one of the really interesting things about this character is that, he's not like suave or confident or calm. It's one of the things that was like really neat about David Seelig in Dying Inside was that he was too neurotic to really profit from his mind reading powers the way that one of the other characters who was just a stockbroker could. And anyhow, let's see. It drove me a little insane. People could tell there was something weird about me. They hated it. That was the first thing I learned when I started to read minds. How much people... People hate me. They don't want me around. It's been that way my whole life, long before I had this ability. That sounds like disability when you read it. I was always fat, always short, always annoying. Men pity me and women hold me in contempt. I used to fool myself, thinking it was just superficiality. I hoped they'd... I was sure they'd like me if they got to know me. A pariah's boundless optimism. Oh, yeah. That's, Oh, I edited it before you could get to it, Spathiwa. Gotcha. I used to fool myself, thinking it was just superficiality. I was sure they'd like me if they just got to know me. A pariah's boundless optimism. Sarah wonders if she should say something, but Gary barrels ahead. Yeah, but you're not annoying, Spathiwa. And like you're, like you're supposed to be short. You're, the fat part, you're jolly. You know what I mean? Yeah, everybody loves Spathiwa. It's like a fucking sitcom. But I will tell you what, like I'm tall and fat and very, 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 very few people love me. I'm just putting it out there. Fucking, and it's like a hard person to love, man. Really and truly. Except Astro. No, even Astro. He's mean because he wishes Spathiwa loved him the way that he loves Spathiwa. It's because his love is unrequited that he's such a dick. Haven't seen that guy around for a while. Shout out to Astro. Maybe he's just invading on like a... Before all of this, I thought it was because I was smarter than them. Because they were afraid of me. But I'm not smarter than them. I thought I was some kind of genius, but I just read more than the other kids in my class because I had nothing else to do. They had friends, sports, family, they were getting laid, getting high, and I was just plowing through the paperback section. The whole time I was just plowing through the paperback section at the library. I thought I would come here and find others like me, like there was some secret society here that would get me, that would finally understand. Instead, I showed up here and found out I was nothing special. I thought I would come here and find others like me. Oh, let's take a look at this paragraph because I think we have like some concept repetition in here, and let's see if we can trim any fat from this paragraph. Yeah, I thought it was because I was smarter than them, because they were afraid of me. But I'm not smarter. I thought I was some kind of genius just because. But I'm not smarter. I'm stupid. I'm stupid at everything important. I thought I was some kind of genius, but I just read more than the other kids in my class because I had nothing else to do. They had friends, sports, family. They were getting laid, getting high. I had nothing. I had nothing but the paperback section at the library. I thought I'd find some secret society that would finally get me, that my genius would be recognized at last. Instead, I showed up and I learned that I was nothing special. Instead, I learned I was nothing special. Instead, I learned I'm nothing special. Just one more asshole among 10 million others. The first time I met a real genius, I felt so inadequate I nearly hopped off the Brooklyn Bridge. His thoughts were like a surreal symphony. Shoutouts. It's nothing, Gary says with a dismissive shake of his head. Anyhow, like everyone else, I learned how to put on the act. That's a pretty wild throwback right there. How to pretend to smile at people, to treat myself like a big joke. People like that. They like it when you make fun of yourself because it makes them feel better about themselves. They like it when you make fun of yourself because it makes them feel better about themselves. Look at me. I'm a big fat idiot. Aren't you so much better by comparison? Ooh, really like this is like one of my favorite scenes in the book right there, where Gary is just fucking leveling with her, just like he just met this woman and he's just dumping all this bullshit on her. And I think we can kind of get away with it here, even though we haven't spent like any time introducing his character, and I think it sort of works in the narrative to me. I might be wrong, but we're not gonna add like a Gary scene prior to this or any shit like that. So yeah, now that I'm considering it, maybe this is too much too soon, but I really like this scene. So we may just be like one of those flaws, like structural flaws that every piece is going to have. Like nothing is structurally perfect. And I think more readers are more accepting of dumping too much shit on them too quickly than taking too long to like build up to something. People do not like that. Yeah. Better too fast than too slow. Especially since, we have 130,000 words on this piece. It's long. Anyhow. Like it. Oh, let's see. Like everyone else, I learned how to put on the act, how to pretend to smile at people, to treat myself like a big joke. What do you say fucking there? Treat myself like a big fucking joke. No, let's leave like the cursing to Lemon. He does enough for like everybody else in the book. People like that. They like it when you make fun of yourself because it makes them feel better about themselves. Look at me, I'm a big fat idiot. Aren't you so much better by comparison? No, let's leave it. Gary has raised his voice and people are glancing at him. He drops his voice. I miss being able to be inconsiderate. It must be so nice not to know. You see this suit I'm wearing? You see this suit I'm wearing? I can afford much better, but I wear this because people don't think, who's this fat asshole trying to be? Big hecking joke. Big fat head joke. Yeah, yeah. I do, yeah. Yeah, I'm not 100% that we shouldn't have a big fucking joke there, but we do not. Big eject. Fuck you guys. See the suit I'm wearing? It's crap, right? I can afford much better. Emphasis. I don't like this. Who's this fat asshole trying to be? Gary has raised his voice. Could be better. He notices and lowers his voice. Yeah, there we go. Gary's volume has climbed during his diatribe, and now people around the coffee shop are staring. He notices and lowers his voice. That's better, and I think that is a point for young Spathiwar. Hell yeah. Effing? Oh, yeah. That's like a little too cutesy for me. Because really, we're like, we're trying to, well, he's a serious character. Like, we almost never go for laughs with Gary. Lemon, Ralph Porter, and maybe, and a little bit Sarah will have like some notes of humor, but everything with Duchance, Gary, and probably Matthew is pretty deadly serious right there. Has been climbing, attracting glances. Why write at the GRRM level when you can write better than GRRM? Because I can't. Yeah, like I fucking have not sold probably like a millionth of the books that he sold. It's fucking ridiculous. All diatribe. Gary's voice has been climbing throughout the diatribe. During the diatribe, Gary's voice has been climbing, and now, yes, not good, not good. You know, I met that cat. He's a nice dude. Real talk. GRRM. I got nothing bad to say about that dude. Which is more than I can say for like a lot of big ass writers that I've met. I've said this on the show before, but I love that he has like a whole basement full of toy soldiers, and he goes down there and plays with them all day long, and like sets up like these armies, like and then the Lord of Light comes through, like making fucking sound effects with his mouth and stuff. What a G. What a G. Wish I hadn't lost my fucking childlike innocence. Out here in New York. I heard he drives a DeLorean. I could see it. Oh, I could so fucking see it. He's a large man to be in a DeLorean. He's involved with digging up the old Atari ET games at that landfill in New Mexico. Why did they do it? It was such a bad game. And like those things were buried for a reason. They're like fucking nuclear waste. Ugh. When he notices them, he sighs, shaking his head. I miss being able to be inconsiderate. It must be so nice not to know. You see this suit I'm wearing? It's crap, right? I can afford much better. But if I dress too nice, GRM knows what he's doing. He writes sex and murder stories at a grade 5 level, perfect for mass consumption. I want to counterpoint there. That guy is not writing those stories at that level because he's like made an executive decision to write at that level. That's how that dude's mind works, right? I've like met him, I've been at talks that he's at, and so forth. He writes exactly the kind of stories that he likes, and the level that he's writing at, that is his level, right? There's nothing cynical about it. He's not like that is the best that guy can do, and I think that's totally fucking fine. You know what I mean? And honestly, like the prose is not that terrible. Just the editing needs a little, like a lot of that shit could get cut out, to tell you the truth. But the thing about also the market too is that fantasy readers, by and large, are looking for more content rather than streamlined stuff. It's not the same as science fiction. Um, but but yeah, like fucking, like didn't we just write Space Stars? We should also be. So why are we fucking shitting on GRRM? Like I think those books are amazing. Like not the fifth one. The fifth, he should have just stopped at 4. Honestly. um yeah, but like the first 4 books, fucking fantastic. Like easily in the running for like the top not maybe top 5, but top those 4 books definitely in the fantasy top 10 as far as series go, as far as I'm concerned. He's not like Tolkien, but there's only one fucking Tolkien, and I don't even like reading the Lord of the Rings and shit like that. It's not my kind of thing. I loved his books. Are they as good as Harry Potter? Yeah, significantly better. They think I'm pretentious. I don't even want to wear a suit, but if I don't, everyone thinks I'm a slob. Yeah, yeah. I like taking out the word asshole too. I miss being able to be inconsiderate. It must be so nice not to. Yeah, let's fix that. I miss being able to be inconsiderate. It must be so nice to not know. You see this suit I'm wearing? It's crap, right? I can afford much better. But if I dress too nice, people feel threatened. Fuck off, Siri. What is wrong with you? Hold on. All right. Yeah, that's. I hate that I can never figure out what triggered that fucking robot. God. The future is now. But if I dress too nice, people feel threatened. They think I'm pretentious. I don't even want to wear a suit, but if I don't, everybody thinks I look like a slob. But if I don't, everyone thinks I'm a slob. So I've settled on wearing stuff like this. Exactly mid-range enough that people don't like me. Mid-range. Unremarkable. My whole life is calibrated to be inconspicuous. Camouflage from the tyranny of everyone. Love it. Oh my god. Let's take a look. Yeah, we do need that comma. 67. God, burning up the charts. They think I'm pretentious. I don't even want to wear a suit, but if I don't, everyone thinks I'm a slob. So I've settled on wearing stuff like this. Mid-range. Unremarkable. mid-range and unremarkable. My whole life is calibrated to be inconspicuous. Camouflage from the tyranny of everyone. It sounds like he's fucking channeling Tarantino over here. I love it. Oh, shout outs to Music AMR. Real talk. What do we got right here? Gary has gotten more far out as the cappuccino has vanished. She can see the caffeine shading his thoughts, making things leap. She can see the caffeine shading his thoughts to be leaping and jangly. Sarah realizes Gary must not drink coffee often. Sarah realizes Gary isn't a coffee drinker. Sarah deduces Gary isn't usually a coffee drinker. Yeah, we need that there. Sarah deduces that Gary isn't usually a coffee drinker. That's just like a little tiny note right there about him getting more fucking whacked out as he's drinking coffee. But we've all been in a conversation with somebody who starts like speeding up as they're drinking coffee. And you know what I'm talking about. Hopefully. It could be worse, Sarah says. Imagine getting strung out on cappuccino. It fucking happens, man. I've gotten in arguments with girls where they just were not coffee drinkers, and we started having like let's have a relationship discussion, and like over coffee, and then they're just like way out of left field saying shit that's like all paranoid and everything. And I'm like, these are amphetamines junior. Like me and Adderall. What a lightweight. He is a fucking lightweight. I think Gary's like a piece of fruit that bruises easily. You know what I'm saying? Like a mango. It could be worse. Sarah holds up an insulated glove. For a second, Gary prepares to argue the point, but just a glimmer of her thoughts is enough to dissuade him. Raving up. She can see Gary revving up to argue the point, but just a glimmer of her thoughts is enough to dissuade him. I know it seems rough, but you can make it work for you, Gary advises. Make it pay off somehow. There's no market for electrocuting people. Yeah, but that's just one angle of it. You can see electricity, right? There have to be all kinds of applications for that. I'm sure there are scientists who would give anything to talk with you. I'm guessing if Sarah tried enough, she could electrically shield her thoughts. So Rebbing has two Vs? Yeah, that looked wrong to me. when I saw the red line under it, but then I just ignored it. I thought I could get away with it somehow. I was like, yeah, maybe nobody will notice. It's not a good thought. So Spathiowa has like this thought that Sarah could throw up some kind of fucking electrical interference to keep him from reading her thoughts. At this point in the story, she has no control whatsoever over what's going on. She might gain some later in the story, maybe not. It's not for me to say. But as of right now, she like can't do like this is all passively happening to her. Like her vision, like she can't really do anything but like focus to try and see visible light, and she certainly has no ability to affect the way that she's building up an electrical charge all the time. Which is we don't explain how she's doing that ever. it's, it's like where's all this energy coming from? I don't know, fucking metachlorines. Yeah, and I honestly like this is so my theory on fantasy in general is that it falls apart if you try to explain things in too much detail. That was the part where I started just thinking like Star Wars was bullshit because I was willing to accept that there was like some mystical force running through the universe, but I was not willing to accept like, oh, his metachlorines are over 9,000. Like, fuck off. Back to Dragon Ball Z with that horse shit. So what are the basic alignments in the characters? Everybody. All right, let's break it down a little bit. This is interesting to consider there. Duchance is chaotic evil. He starts off as lawful evil and becomes chaotic evil. And that's just how it's going to be right there. Lemon is neutral good. Yeah, I would definitely put him right around there. Maybe is he feels like a lot of guilt, but he does. He'd be like maybe like chaotic good. Sarah is neutral. What else have we got here? Gary, he would be neutral evil for sure, but he might not stay neutral evil through the whole story. Maybe he's gonna get worse too. Maybe he's gonna get better. We're not gonna find out. Who else is there? Matthew is chaotic evil. Fucking Thirsty is chaotic good. What else do we have here? What's a column? Just casually generating column. Yeah, I don't know that word. Wait, let me not look up that word. It could be anything. But who else am I fucking forgetting here? Do we have a lawful? Oh, Carl Mason, who will come up later. Lawful good. What else do we have? Yeah, we have. I think just about all the alignments are represented somewhere here in this thing. They're units of energy, electrical force. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. And I did not know that word. And I had been an electrician in my life, but we don't measure anything in columns. That sounds like one of those fucking European terms. We don't cotton to those over here. Hell yeah, America. What other characters are in this that would have like an alignment? Duchance. Matthew. I think that's everybody that we really get into right there. Maybe is more neutral good than what do we call him? Chaotic good. He's more neutral good. Because I don't think he falls onto the law or chaos spectrum anywhere. Do we do it with horsepower? Law. How many furlongs you get to the horse? Like we measure everything in pints of donkey semen. All right, that's so. Monetize it somehow, Gary advises. There's no market for electrocuting people. Yeah, I get that. But that's just one angle of it. You can see electricity, right? There have to be all kinds of applications for that. I'm sure there are scientists who would pay a mint for that. YouTube censors thick? What the fuck are they doing with their platform? I don't even have censorship turned on this shit. Why would they fucking do that? These pussy motherfuckers. Yeah, whatever. It's a service that I'm getting for fucking free, but I am disappointed. You know what I'm saying? Sarah's fear is so intense that I worried about this thing. Gary holds up a palm. He understands. I worried about the exact same thing for years. The government finding out about me, throwing me in a cage, running all kinds of tests, locking me away in some bunker. I thought they'd lock me in some bunker in the desert and run tests on me. But you want to know something? Sarah nods, taking a sip of her tea. Once I had a good handle on how to read people, her lip crackles against the rim of the cup. We don't have to have that. But there's a faint crackle as her lip touches the rim of the cup. I like that aside right there. That's like such and visceral's not exactly what, but you could I can kind of feel that. So I like that little touch. You want to know something? Once I had a good handle on how to read people, I took a bus down to Washington, D.C. I wanted to find out what was really going on. Like, were there... Are there really aliens at Area 51? Like, hmm. I kept thinking, what if they have their own mind readers? What if they have some... Yeah, I'm already on top of it, Spathy, but thank you. What did you find? They're just people. They're just people. Stupid people. That's what's wrong with everything. Not that there's some giant conspiracy. There's no conspiracy. The people in power are stupid and short-sighted because the kind of people who seek power in the first place are doing it to cover up the fact that they're stupid and short-sighted because the system was designed by them, for them, and they keep bending it more and more in their own image. All the top secret stuff is just us selling guns and planes to both sides of wars that we helped start in the first place. All that top secret stuff is just us selling guns and planes to both sides of wars that we helped start. He drains the cup, talking faster and faster. There are no UFOs, no secret technologies. It's all so boring and sad. The whole of Washington, D.C. is predicated on the primal absolute that having power equals getting pussy. The laws they pass, all their maneuvering, it's self-interest. Whew. There are no UFOs, no secret technologies. It's boring and sad. The whole of Washington, D.C. is predicated on the primal absolute that having power equals getting pussy. The laws they pass, all their maneuvering, is just self-interest to get laid. It's just a ploy. They need more bribes from their backers to increase their status, to increase their desirability. Even the old guys who haven't gotten it up in decades, it's all they're thinking about. They're doing it out of habit. That's all that government is. That's all people are. A bunch of rutting apes. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. So don't worry about them finding you. They're imbeciles. Sarah has to pause to take it all in, to try and push away the wave of sadness flowing from Gary to her. She can't push away the wave of sadness flowing from Gary to her. All of them? Isn't there anyone good? Her voice is small, like a kid who just heard the hard facts about Santa and doesn't want to hear it. It's this is like a little bit strange right here, I gotta tell you. Maybe we're getting kind of long in the edit there, because I can feel myself running out of juice. But, yeah, I'm not the greatest, IMO. Not the greatest. It's a laugh, because if you had asked her yesterday, but hearing him declare it as an unarguable fact. Unarguable is not the right term. Okay, cool. Oh, excuse me there. It's a laugh, because if you had asked her yesterday, Sarah would have said pretty much the same thing. But something about finding out it's actually true is a real letdown. Sarah's surprised to find she was an optimist all along. Inarguable. There's no one good anywhere. I'm not good. You're not good. There's no such thing as good. Just 6 billion people who can only really see themselves, myself included. I'm pretty sure you'll never find a telepath who isn't really fucking depressed and disappointed. Myself included. I'm pretty sure you'll never find a telepath. You'll never find a telepath who isn't completely depressed and disappointed. Myself included. You'll never find a telepath who isn't completely disappointed and depressed. It's always a sad day when someone discovers that government is just people. Sounds very quotable there, Spathy. Should tweet it. All right. Sarah can't think of anything to say. It doesn't matter. They'll just think we're crazy. No, yeah, we don't need that aside. It doesn't matter. They'll just think we're crazy. Oh, and the president's gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Though he is an asshole. Huge asshole. You have to be. You have to be fucking with me. Wait, you're fucking with me, right? Sarah's incredulous, but Gary just shakes his head. Yeah, the president's gay. Just in this story. Wait, who was the president in 2000? Oh, was it fucking G.W. Bush? Damn. Yeah, fucking guy's gay. You know, like it says it right here in the story. Don't libel me, though. This is a work of fiction. It's only based on reality. You know what else? People are ugly. Really, truly ugly. You wouldn't believe how bad everyone is once you really know what they're thinking. All of them. And keep in mind, this is something I actually know, not just the results of some bullshit survey. Everyone only cares about themselves. Doesn't matter who they are, they only do things for other people to get something back, or because they feel guilty. The whole time they're fooling themselves, tricking themselves into believing they're good, that what they're doing is right, lying to themselves, and I see them doing it. Gary is almost shouting. Gary is almost shouting. Sarah motions to keep it down, but he ignores her. I can see all the slimy shit they really want. Everything they're embarrassed about. Everything they're embarrassed about. All the things they really want. I can see all the slimy shit they really want. Yeah, let's cut that. Oh, yeah. I can see all the slimy shit they really want. Everyone's lying all the time. Everyone's cheating on each other. They're all just jostling and lining themselves up to fuck each other over, and it never stops. And what are they chasing? A little puff of serotonin that lasts for seconds. That's it. They're all just getting yanked forward by that carrot. See, remember yesterday we had that conversation, and I was lolling inside because I knew we were going to get to this part of the story. LOL, low. A little puff of serotonin that lasts for seconds. That's it. And they're all getting yanked forward, and they're all just getting yanked forward by that carrot. As soon as they get it, they're down again. I read the drug addicts and I read the career builders, and there's no fucking difference. Women are all whores pretending to be nuns. Men are all cowards, whipped dogs pretending they can walk upright. They're only happy when they're fooling themselves, and as soon as they start to really pay attention, they're miserable until they can dope themselves up again, one way or another. Facing up to all that, that was the hard part. Gary's getting red in the face. He's really wound up. He notices Sarah's discomfort and forces himself to take a series of deep breaths. People are shaking their heads. Crazy asshole ruined my latte. I know. Nobody wants to hear that. Everyone wants to pretend. Anyhow, that's all done with now. I'm used to it. I have money now, so I don't have to put up with their bullshit anymore. I have money now, so I don't have to put up with their bullshit anymore. Okay. So I got that edit before Logic got it. Hell yeah. So we actually cut both of your things before you could get it. I'm too fast for you. Right there. Gary's getting red in the face. He's really wound up. Yeah, we're not there. How'd you get into poker? Sarah asks, wanting to shift the conversation away. Wanting to shift the conversation and get all these strangers' eyes off her. Typing up the edit as you're making the edit, hoping to slip it under the radar. That's devious right there. When I was still working at the McDonald's during the period where I was trying to be normal, there was a weekly game between the shift managers of 3 different franchises, and they were down a man. I was a desperation invite. They literally asked everyone else first. I know a bunch of card tricks. I used to practice at home in front of a mirror, but I'd never played poker before in my life. I never played poker. Yeah. Yeah, let's... I know a bunch of card tricks, but I've never played poker. They thought I'd be an easy mark. Thought they could take my money and laugh about it afterward. Well, things didn't quite work out that way. I could see exactly what they had. Read them as easy as you can read that sign over there. Gary points at a faded sign that says, "Cool off with a frozen mocha." I remember this jerk, Thomas More from the 34th Street franchise, trying to bluff me with a pair of twos. I laughed right in his stupid face. Took them for $500, which is someone who is making $7 an hour before tax, is quite a big deal. It made them so mad. Every man there wanted to kick the shit out of me, but none of them had the balls, and I knew it. Gary grins ear to ear. Oh, that's cliche. Let's just cut that. That was when I sort of woke up. Oh. So when I, yeah, we don't need to do that. We can just have two separate paragraphs right there. There, it was cut up into a paragraph for a reason. That was when I woke up and sort of realized I've been wasting my time. That was when I... That was when I woke up and realized I've been an idiot all along. I was so stupid before that. I've been trying so hard to be a regular, hardworking guy, to just ignore my power as much as I could, to learn how to make people like me. I was trying to be good and learn how to make people like me. I was so stupid before that. I've been trying so hard to be a regular, hardworking guy, to just ignore my power as much as I could. I was trying to be... I wanted to be a good person and to figure out how to make people like me. Well, people don't like me, and they never will. Look at me. I'm pouring my fucking heart out to you, and you can barely stand to sit at the same table as me. That's the price of knowing what you're not supposed to. That's the price. That's what comes of knowing what you're not supposed to. Hell yeah. Sarah wants to protest, but it's futile. Sarah can't argue with him. Why bother lying? Wow, so a whole lot of shit is going on Mixer. So Music AMR is hosting me, and now Clumsy Fucker is hosting me. Uncle Leofire is following. Batty Goth is now following. Clumsy Fucker is now following. Senator Chicken is now following. Damn, we're blowing up on Big Mixer. Oh, hello, Clumsy Fucker. And then, like, Tiny Water Ship and then Euroheart. Good lord. We're blowing up like the world trade over here. I hope you guys are fucking fans of long and painstaking edits. Yeah, hello, Skip Donahue. And now we're getting fucking Mixer hearts. Here comes the Mixer. Sharing the love, it's Skip Donahue, a UK's fault. Well, thank y'all. Much appreciated. So Sarah can't argue with him. Oh, we got the fucking... Hell yeah. And tacos coming at me? People blowing up every kind of which way. We got hype burgers. Some monster character. Lord have mercy. I don't know what to make of all this. Let's see. Sarah doesn't argue. She feels like she's sinking, like Gary is a whirlpool sucking her under. Oh, let's take that out. So I think in a lot of places of this story where we have like a couple of different similes or metaphors or whatever, we'll try to keep it to just one metaphor. Just one is usually more than enough right here, because this story is so weighted down with this forced and jangly nonsense right here. Sarah doesn't argue. She feels like Gary is a whirlpool sucking her under. Anyhow, poker. That was on a Friday night. I was on a bus to Atlantic City the next day, and on Monday I knew I'd never... By Monday, I knew I'd never have to go back to work if I didn't want to, and believe me, I didn't. I still play sometimes, for fun, not money. Nothing's more fun than beating people who underestimate you, making them pay for it. It saved my life. I was really getting crazy before I found some way to use my power. You should do the same. Find an outlet. Outlet. Sorry. So the Megaboss has free Wi-Fi. Yeah, I've ridden on the Megabus many a times. Never been on that Fenghua bus. Because I understand that they don't actually have chickens on them the way that they used to. So real talk. Is there just a regular bus I can take? Yeah, you can take a fucking Greyhound. I think Greyhounds have Wi-Fi now too. There's the Bolt bus too, which is like the hipster version of the Megabus. I never want to ride a bus again, honestly. I never want to ride the subway again. I just don't want to be near anyone ever again. Never ever. Okay. So I like find it. Haha, outlet. Sorry. Gary's laugh is almost an oink. Oh, cool. Enough love. I don't even like riding in a flying bus. I do not like flying either. I would probably like it if I got to fly the plane. But for some reason, United is not down with that request. Let's see. Just trying hard not to come to any unfavorable conclusions. Gary hasn't made it easy. She can see he spent a long time. Oh, yeah. One long is enough.
Gary hasn't made it easy. She can see he's spent a long time examining himself and isn't pleased with what he's found. It's hard not to agree with him. His eyes narrow as he's reading her. His eyes narrow as he reads her. I co-pilot that plane on its final journey. Where I tell you where we're headed. It starts with W and ends with TC, buddy. Let's do it. Hell yeah. So what can you do with all these little electrical symbol things on Mixer? They turn into money like lemon coins on DLive? Or I think I've made all of about 40 cents on DLive this whole time we've been streaming. Shoutouts to DLive. Wait, are we on DLive at the... Yeah, we are on DLive right now. We're in DLive and Picardo and everything. Restream is so fucking chill. I'm a fan. Sarah is silent on the other side of the table, processing. She's trying not to come to any unfavorable... She's trying hard not to come to any unfavorable... Does that sentence work? She's trying not to judge him, but Gary hasn't made it easy. She can see he's spent a long time examining himself and isn't pleased with what he's found. It's hard not to agree with him. Gary's eyes narrow as he reads her. No, that's the same paragraph. You want to know why I'm like this? Why I'm so down? Listen to this. Gary points a finger at two women chattering at a table by the window. They're best friends. Clarice has the hots for Jenna. She'd love to go full-on dyke, but she's too afraid to try anything, and she's right. Jenna is a vain bitch. She thinks Clarice is fat and dumpy. Thinking about it is the only way Clarice can get off. It's been that way for years. Jenna acts oblivious to it, Jenna acts oblivious to it all. But on some level, she knows, and she just wants the attention. Mm-hmm. They're best friends. Clarice has the hots for Jenna. She'd love to go full-on dyke, but she's too afraid to try anything, and she's right. Jenna is a vain bitch. She thinks Clarice is fat and dumpy. You need to have embers, and then the sparks are like a multiply the embers, and the embers are money. Huh. Alright. I'll do something with it there. Yeah, my path to being an internet millionaire on editing on a live stream has begun. I'll be the next Bill Gates over here. Like puts and buys and fucking stocks and bonds and municipal waste. I don't know. Jenna's a vain bitch. She thinks Clarice is fat and dumpy. It's been that way for years. Jenna acts oblivious, but she knows. Jenna acts oblivious, but she knows. She wants the attention. Wants someone she can complain to and treat like dirt. Gary's getting worked up again. His volume is climbing. Gary's getting worked up again. He's talking too loud. Clarice thinks about killing herself all the time. I could walk over there right now and break everything apart. A few words and she really would take that leap off the Williamsburg Bridge she thinks about every other night. Probably. 2 sentences, and she really would take that leap off the Williamsburg Bridge she thinks about every night. The women have turned to him. They heard the mention of their names and could only make out fragments, just enough to be alarmed. The guy with the guitar case and the backpack knocked up some girl in Texas and just left her. Did the same thing in California. Fucks around all the time, doesn't bother with rubbers. Never bothers to get tested. In the back of his mind, he's pretty sure he's got HIV, but he keeps pushing it down, stuffing it back into the drawer. He just keeps smoking weed. Every overnight? Yeah, actually, it shouldn't be either. It should just be every night. He just keeps smoking weed and fucking any gash that'll give him the time of day. I could walk up to him right now and tell him he's got it. He'd shit himself right on the spot. Guitar case has earbuds in, but Jenna and Clarice are both watching him open-mouthed, and the people at the booth next to them are, yeah. The older guy with the 2 girls there? Helicopter gunner in Vietnam. Probably killed 100 people. He got to like it. Thinks about throttling just about everyone who crosses his path. His thoughts are all knives and bullets. Stabbing. Tearing. Let's see. Open mouth. Yep, that is... Logic gets a point. 34. All right. So you caught up to, you're more than halfway where Spathy is. Good job. The older guy with the 2 girls there? Helicopter gunner in Vietnam. Un macerito in the back of his mind should be in the back of him mind. Oh, oh yeah, that's absolutely true. In the back of him mind. Yeah, that's a bad one. Now let's take out in the back of his mind altogether. Was that yeah, 35? No, I found it. Yeah, that's actually a good edit, and then we get an even bonus edit out of there. The older guy with the 2 girls there, he was in Vietnam. Helicopter gunner. Probably killed a... Helicopter gunner. Killed at least 100 people. He got to like it. You think helicopter door gunner is really there? I would just... I'm okay with just helicopter gunner, really. Like, door gunner. Even that hyphenated. All right. Hold on. Let's try something. What is it? Ngrams? Google Trends? All right, so let's helicopter gunner as, and then let's try a helicopter door gunner. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's just try door gunner. Yeah. Let's try it without the hyphen. Okay, so door gunner. Oh wow, people in so definitely not hyphenated. Helicopter door gunner. Yeah. So door gunner is like you've got, it's got like a little bit more. I wonder why door gunner is so popular. Space shuttle door gunner. What the fuck? People only care about this in Texas and California for some reason. But yeah, I think we just need helicopter gunner. Yeah, helicopter gunner killed at least 100 people. He got to like it. Uh, got to like it. His thoughts are like stabbing knives. He thinks about throttling everyone who crosses his path. He keeps that all buried under that fake laugh, under a bunch of corny jokes. Every few years, he claims he's going to a cabin in Maine with the guys, but really he takes a bus to Detroit, stakes out some drug corner, and kills a few black guys. Yeah, that's. He stakes out a he he stakes out a drug corner and kills some black guys with a rifle. He thinks he's a superhero. Then he stakes out a drug corner and kills some black guys with a rifle. He thinks he's a superhero. The helicopter gunner has swiveled around. He's looking at Gary with his hands balled into fists. Turn the fuck back around or I'll tell the cops exactly what's at the bottom of the lake in Shine Park, Gary says. Gary demands. The man clenches his jaw and turns pale. He's throwing 20s on the table. Couldn't I say gangbanger and not black guys? Why would I do that? Yeah, like what we're implying here is that like this helicopter guy is specifically targeting black people, right? Because he thinks that he's like a fucking superhero or whatever there. Um, yeah, like I don't see the use of calling them. One, because gangbanger is like archaic at this point. People don't use the term gangbanger much anymore to refer to members, and I'm not trying to like um, smooth out. You know how like when I say like shoots a couple of black guys, that kind of like sticks in you. That's like, ugh, you know, that like we're not trying to soften that blow. It's supposed to feel like that. Yeah, real talk. But yeah, if you're thinking, oh, that sounds a little bit racist. Yeah, it is a little bit racist. What he's doing is, you know, this guy is like essentially a monster. And like part of what we're trying to highlight right here is that Gary is seeing all these things happening around the coffee shop. Like the two friends, right? Where that's like to somebody else, that's just two women, like picking at a salad and smiling. But he can see like this undercurrent of one woman desires the other, and the other one is aware of it and is just using her. The guy who just sleeps around all the time and is like petrified, like, what if I have HIV? But he just keeps pushing it to the back of his mind. And then this guy is like the most extreme. Oh, he's not the most extreme example because there's another example coming. But yeah, if it does seem, it is racist. It absolutely is. But it's within the context of the story, and it should make sense when you're looking at that character. So it's not like we're just dropping the N-word for no reason to make people feel uncomfortable. We're trying to establish something about a character. Shouts to Telly right there. Condoms, they don't work. The head'll fucking snip off and make your dick shrink. The remix of Telly, we're talking about this movie Kids, if you've never seen it right there, but the remix of Telly saying that is like one of my favorite dumb remixes ever. It's so stupid. Let's call him Vietnam Man. Vietnam Man has swiveled around. I like that because it also fucking makes him sound a little bit like a creepy superhero. It's awful. Capitalized man in Vietnam Man. Vietnam Man. Nam Man. So we're not actually it's not actually his title, so we wouldn't capitalize man there. Yeah, it's not like a superhero name that we're giving them because that's a little much, right? That's like uh we're just saying Vietnam to indicate who he is. He's like Vietnam Man. Like Georgia Man or whatever. You wouldn't capitalize whatever there. So I don't think it's correct to capitalize in that instance. But I could be wrong. Nam Man. Oh, yeah, I actually really dislike having two uses of it. The man swivels around and glowers at Gary with his hands balled into fists. Turn the fuck back around or I'll tell the cops exactly what's at the bottom of the lake in Shine Park, Gary demands. Vietnam man turns back. That's better. You wouldn't know. You weren't there, man. A moment later, he's tossing $20 bills onto the table and dragging his two girls out of the coffee shop by their wrists. Whipped cream is melting on their half-eaten crepes. All right. Now everyone in the coffee shop is staring at Gary. He's swelling up with the attention. His brain is roaring with overstimulation. Yeah, let's... Instead of roaring... His brain is crackling with overstimulation. Oh, crackling's... They're wrong. What do we want right here? So this is Sarah's point of view, where she's like... Let's just do glowing. His brain is glowing with overstimulation. That guy over there in the blue suit fucks kids. Want me to go into it? Sarah shakes her head from side to side. She feels like crying. The guy in the blue suit is shaking his head back and forth, holding his fork like he's going to lunch across the restaurant at them. The guy in the blue suit is shaking his head back and forth and sputtering in denial. All the time I hear that. Shimmering is not quite right. You want, glowing is wrong, too. Because glowing is like kind of like a gentle thing. Sparkling. There we go. His brain is sparkling with overstimulation. I like that. Shimmering is also wrong. Pulsing, thrumming, wrong. Throbbing, wrong. We could do redlining, but I don't think his brain is actually like redlining. Sparkling works for me. And they're having a sparkling conversation about how the guy in the blue suit fucks kids. Sarah shakes her head from side to side. She feels like crying. The guy in the blue suit is shaking his head back. Looking very afraid. The guy in the blue suit is shaking his head too. He looks like he's about to piss his pants. All the time I hear that. I can't turn it off. And you know what? You're not any different than the rest of them. What's he got now? You're not any different than the rest of them. I mean, you have your own problems, obviously, but you're just like they are. I appreciate the effort you're making, but really, you might as well just drop it. I know what I am, and I don't give a shit anymore. I don't need you or anyone else. Okay, this is a little jokey right here. For once, it's Sarah that's shocked. Mm-hmm. No one's giving her a hard time. For once, it's Sarah that's shocked. She was trying so hard to give Gary a chance, and now he's rubbing her nose in it. Every moment she's known him, he's been violating her, eavesdropping on her most private thoughts. What the fuck did he expect her to think? I like most there. What about the money? Sarah thinks, and she immediately hates herself for thinking it. She hates herself. Immediately, she hates herself for wanting anything from this guy. Gary pulls a wad of hundreds out of his coat and sets it on the table. She wants to throw it in his face. Gary pulls a wad of hundreds out of his coat and sets it on the table. Whew. Sarah wants to throw the money in his face, but they both know she can't. So Spathywah says, put the word back into there. Oh yeah, it's got a back in his face. I like that because it's it can be read a couple of different ways. It's ambiguous. 68. Now you got to make it to 70 if you want to double Logic's edits. We'll see if there are 2 more errors in the rest of this chapter right here. Door Gunner. The Saga. He has a smug look. There's part of Gary that gets off on this. There's a part of him that gets off on this, that likes to watch people grovel. Mm-hmm. Helicopter door gunner Vietnam, man. God, fuck that. Regret crosses his face, and she could see Gary really didn't want to fuck this up. He just can't help himself. All the pity she was trying to hold back is flooding out now. She hates him. Sarah dislikes Gary, but he despises himself. Just like scary and butt. Let's take a look.
Sarah dislikes Gary, but he despises himself.
Yeah, there we go. Let's do it. Well, congrats.
She watches his brain flicker, and it reminds her of the madman who crossed her path earlier. It's not the same kind of crazy, but some of the same things are there. The dark, empty spots where things ought to be happening, but they aren't. The parts of him he's missing. Gary's eyes widen in surprise, and he grabs the money back off the table. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, he hisses, though she hasn't said a word. Fuck you, you stupid cunt. I hope you fucking starve. I hope you fucking freeze to death alone in an alley. No one will ever touch you again, you fucking leper. It happens so fast, neither of them sees it coming. It happens so fast, neither of them sees it coming. Sarah pulls off her glove. Her hand shoots out and grabs Gary by the wrist. There's a snap as loud as a firecracker.
2 minute one. Okay. About him. Shout outs to About Him. Oh, shout outs to Ryan the Southerner. Welcome again to the stream. We are just about through chapter 13, and I gotta give Logic a point right here, because he found a wayward M. Yeah, let's take out Alone in an Alley.
I hope you fucking freeze to death. No one will ever touch you again, you fucking leper. It happens so fast, neither of them sees it coming. Sarah pulls off her glove. Her hand shoots out and grabs Gary by the wrist. Aw, snap. It happens so fast, neither of them sees it coming. Sarah pulls off her glove. She reaches out and grabs Gary by the wrist. When she touches him, the snap is as loud as a firecracker. Everyone flinches.
Oh, she mad. Oh yeah. You don't call this woman a fucking leper. Get out of here now. So Ryan the Southerner says, I'm just over here doing some language learning during quarantine. All things considered, I've decided to change my learning language to Russian for a pretty good reason. I hope it's a woman because it shouldn't be for money. There are two good reasons to learn Russian. One is because you are deeply in love with Russian literature and want to read like Gogol and Dostoevsky and so forth in their native tongue, which is commendable, but holy shit, it's a lot of work. There are plenty of good books in English, but you know, everybody's got to do whatever. The other is a woman, but there's no other reason to, as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't learn Russian to live in Russia or to do business there. It's neither. Well, shit. You know, what's this very good reason to learn Russian? I hope it's not to become a Russian linguist, because Jesus. I don't know. Like, it's wrong of me to like write off an entire fucking, basically a continent. But that's Cyrillic. I don't know. It might come in handy in like some of the cool countries, like Prague. Fucking Czech Republic is cool. I hear Slovakia is cool. So Badlar says this isn't WoW. Yeah, it's I'm like never on Mixer, so I haven't changed the name of the game. It's there. We're just editing a novel. I'll try to categorize it later. It's Minecraft. Yeah, it's like we're building a city out of words. Russian literature is indeed fucking dope. They're just yeah, it's fucking amazing. A lot of Russian speakers within the two fandoms community that I'm a part of. The I don't know what FNAF, but the My Little Pony fandom that sing our fan made songs in Russian after they translate them. Huh. Huh. So you want to be able to understand what is a FNAF? Hold on, this is some uh uh no, I can't even fucking figure it out. Um and here I was giving you like these lofty ideals, like the love of a beautiful Cyrillic woman with coal black hair and pale blue eyes and tits that just won't quit, or the love of some of the greatest literature ever to be penned. But no, it's My Little Pony. Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know what that is. It's like a game. I don't know. I think anything that I hear from this point will only deepen my despair. So Skip Donahue is in love with that woman. Good for you. Hope you get her. The last beautiful Cyrillic woman that I was interested in was from Belarus, and she was fucking gorgeous. And I was just she
was like, I see you more as a friend, as a soulmate than a lover. And I was like, bitch, I made you homemade chicken noodle soup when you were sick. Fuck out of here. Your soulmate nonsense. And it was good chicken noodle soup too. It was fucking spicy and delicious. I could do a better job with it now though, because I would sous vide the chicken this time around, and it would be like the most tender thing that you could ever imagine. Um, it's got dark eyes. Yeah, ship thick. uh, Sarah pours everything into him, all of her frustration, all of her anger. Oh, Logic's pot roast just finished roasting. Yeah, I'm gonna sous vide a corned beef, and my plan is to first sous vide the corned beef for like 10 hours, and the whole time I'm gonna have in my crock pot potatoes and cabbage and carrots and stuff, chilling. In I think I'm gonna use beef. Well, maybe I'll use chicken broth, but I'll have them simmering in some broth during that whole time, and then after I'm done sous videing the corned beef, I'm going to cube it. And then I'll put it in there so that I can get for 4 hours, so that I can get some of that fat rendering without overcooking the corned beef. That's my idea. But here, let me see here. Wait. So Skip Donahue says, but he's got dark eyes. He plays the violin like an angel. Are you in love with little Ben Shapiro? Whew. You may be, well, you might be barking up the right tree. Who knows, man? Who knows? Shout out to little Ben. Uh, mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a clunky thing there.
Whew. Everyone is staring. Okay. Gary spasms right out of his chair, tumbling to the ground. Sarah lets him go. He hits the ground with a heavy thud and his head cracks against the concrete. His eyes are rolled up to just the whites. His eyes are empty whites, pointed at the ceiling. The air smells like singed hair and burnt flesh. Everyone is looking at Sarah. She bends down by Gary, not to check for a pulse, but to grab the money out of his hand. So this line is maybe unnecessary. You be the judge. Everyone is looking at Sarah. She bends down by Gary, not to check for a pulse, but to grab the money out of his hand. When she runs for the door, no one tries to stop her. Comma? She runs out the door and no one moves to stop her. The kid fucker in the blue suit made it out ahead of her. He's sprinting up the block. So Logic says that line is perfect. Sarah starts to run but forces herself to walk, trying to blend into the crowd. Okay. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if Kid Fucker was going too far, but let's do it. Yeah. Hmm. The pedo in the blue suit. The guy is actually a kid fucker. Yeah, no, like absolutely. Gary Polk is accurately everything that he says. I don't think Gary ever tells a lie the entire time. But yeah, everything he says is accurate. The Vietnam man absolutely does just murder gang members for no reason. Fucking the guy is a kid fucker. Clarice really does have the hots for Jenna. It's all true. He's a reliable narrator. Oh, yeah, we E-train. For 3 heart-pounding minutes. Okay, let's we've rewritten a lot of this thing. Yeah. Okay. It happens so fast, neither of them sees it coming. Sarah pulls off her glove. She reaches out and grabs Gary by the wrist. When she touches him, the snap is as loud as a firecracker. Voices cry out as the whole flint. Everyone else in the restaurant flinches. Sarah doesn't let go. Gary starts to shake and his hair is standing straight up. Sarah pours everything into him. Sarah doesn't let go. She pours everything into him. All of her frustration, all of her anger. Gary spasms right out of his chair, tumbling to the ground. Sarah lets him go. He hits the ground hard with a heavy thud. Whew. Let's see. Gary spasms right out of his chair, tumbling to the ground. Sarah lets him drop. Sarah lets him fall. He hits the ground hard, and the back of his head cracks against the concrete. Gary's eyes are empty whites, pointed at the ceiling. There's smoke rising from his wrist. The air smells like singed hair and burnt flesh. Let's just do that. Jenna begins to scream. Everyone is looking at Sarah. She bends down by Gary, not to check for a pulse, but to grab the money out of his hand. She runs out the door and no one moves to stop her. The kid fucker in the blue suit has made it out ahead of her. He's sprinting up the block. She should be able to determine if he's still alive or not. Maybe like a one-liner. No, because she wonders about it later. Like, you'll see why when we get to the end of the chapter. But she does not check. She only cares about the money in his hand. Sarah starts running too, but after a block she forces herself to walk, trying to blend into the crowd. She descends the stairs on the east side of the 23rd Street C train and pulls her Metro card out. E.g., if it's hard to distinguish between knocked out and dead. So yeah, like, oh, that's interesting. Whether we should say whether he's dead or alive, I don't think it enters into her frame of thought at that point. Yeah, like I don't think that character really cares whether he lives or dies. I could be wrong, but let me see. She jumps the turnstile. No alarm sounds. The alarm doesn't sound. Yeah. Uh, she walks through the underpass tunnel, worried every second she's going to hear the police calling for her to halt. For 3 heart-pounding minutes, she waits on the southbound platform. Sarah dashes across the Sarah dashes across the empty underpass tunnel, worried every second she's going to hear the police calling for her to halt. For 3 heart-pounding minutes, she waits on the southbound platform until an E-train arrives. She rides it to West 4th to transfer, keeping her bare hand in her pocket so she can't zap anyone else. She can see the traction motors beneath the floor, spinning the brilliant lines of fire underfoot into motion. Outside the subway car is a whole jungle of power lines, charge roaring in every direction. She boards and keeps her bare hand in her pocket so she can't zap anyone else. She gets off at West 4th to transfer, barely able to hold it together. Do we capitalize street and 23rd? Yes. 23rd Street is capitalized. She would know if he's dead. Oh, that's true. Like she would see his brain. Well, she wouldn't know if he's dying. That's a good point from Spathy War. Hold on. Yeah, street is capitalized. The lights are still on upstairs, but they're fading awfully fast. She runs out the door. Yeah, I like that. That's all we need right there. And it stays within the context of what we're about to do next, which you'll see in a second here. Sarah lets one train pass because it's too full. Sarah lets one train pass because it's too full, and there's no way to keep from brushing against people. She lets the next pass. Yeah, that doesn't add anything. She looks around and around for the police, worried they'll try to arrest her, get shocked, and shoot her dead. But none come. Thank God for the strike. The next train is nearly empty. When she enters, a wall of hot air engulfs her. The heater has gone haywire and the car is sweltering. She rides it anyway. It's an F train, and the only other people in the car are ancient. There are bag ladies wearing 3 coats, old men with canes and cabbie hats. Bag ladies wearing 3 coats and old men with canes and cabbie hats are grinning like they hit the jackpot. Their eyebrows droop and they nod knowingly at each other. Oh, yeah. You see, this is how it ought to be. More old people shuffle in as the train makes its way south, as if some weird beacon's drawing them in. Today, the F stands for Florida. When the train emerges from the tunnel in Brooklyn, the sun is setting, and storm clouds are rolling in. All Sarah can think is, I hope I killed him. There we go. Hell yeah. Holy shit. Did we make it to... Yeah, we made it to our fucking quota. That's 169. We're 1 page off of our quota. That's a long fucking chapter right there. Let me go through that paragraph one more time. The next train is nearly empty.
It's like a cute little aside. Like all the old people want to be on the train where the heater is cranked up to 90 fucking degrees. Hell yeah. All right, so that gets us through chapter number 14. So we're actually putting some work in today. C'est la vie is the title of the next chapter. Let's see how many words we managed to get through today. Could I get a time from somebody in the chat? Whew, lot of fucking chapter right there that we're hitting you with young Gary. Wow, this goes on and on and on. It's like a 20-page chapter. 3 hours. All right. Well, we worked hard today. Good job, everybody. Thank you for everybody who was up in on this. 3-hour tour. All right. So that is, whoa, we got through 4,767 words. All right, and yeah, like a whole lot of great edits from everybody right there. Thank you all so much. 1337. Oh, yeah, this is a tough edit, man. Yeah, I get a lot more work done if I wake up early in the morning. So I got to start doing that again. All right, good job. And then let's back it up to chapter 14. I could have just gone to page 169. All right. And then chapter 14 will bring us back to the pits. And if I'm remembering this shit right, everything is about to get real in this story. Like, we don't fucking wait around in this. We don't need to character develop or any shit like that. We're going hard. Not in the next chapter, but in yeah, like the next chapter is not where we start to go hard, but I think from chapters like 15 through 20, it's just a full fucking sprint with all the characters. So knuckle down, boys. It's coming. All right, have a good day. And yeah, I should really come up with something to say at the end of these streams.